I heard you say you once were talking to Waylon Jennings at the Sportatorium. Any other big celebrities you've met over the years, and how was Waylon?
Good. I didn't really know who he was because I wasn't a country and western fan. Uh, I for a short period of time, I actually this is a little further down my when I was actually not wrestling, but Jean-Claude Van Damme. I was trying to break into the film industry. I was friends with Potsy. His name's Anson Williams. He was in Happy Days. He's a director in Hollywood. So um, he had asked me if I was interested in, going out and trying to do some auditions. And I had an in. And, but for 6 months, I actually was running a club called Tattoo. I was for security. And I didn't run the whole thing, but I was like, there was the guy that had the security company, and then I was working for him. And Tattoo was a very famous, at that time in Los Angeles. And I remember meeting Jean-Claude Van Damme, and back, not that picture he has shown, but I had much longer hair. And if it was actually like that was wet that you had seen, but like dry, I had better hair than most women. And so him and his date came in and they thought I was Fabio. And I had no idea who he was either, but he kept coming up to me and saying, Fabio, Fabio. And I'm like, no, not Fabio. And he says, no, but she told me you're Fabio. And eventually I just said, fuck off, please. And at the end of the night, he didn't want to pay his bill, and I had to kick him out of the club, make him pay and kick him out. And the funny thing is, he was so short, I would have never guessed he was Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I'd met Bo Derek, James Caan, Jeep Swenson. Do you remember?
Yeah, from Batman and the Von Erichs and a bunch of other movies, and he's passed away now, I believe.
Yeah, a long time ago. Bane and in Batman, huge guy. And so I used to work out with him and James Caan at Gold's Gym while I was there for those few months. Uh, I've met Steve Perry when I was actually in St. Martin because they used to come, and a bunch of other people too. But I mean, he's one that stands out. Uh, the resort that I was running, um, they would come, all these guys would come and they would do a concert there. Uh, Bo Derek, Chuck Norris. When I met Chuck Norris before I was even wrestling. Jamie Foxx, he's a good friend of a friend of mine. That's much later in life, like the last couple of years. Charlene Tilton. Um, Back in the days that I was wrestling, uh,
Do I
Stevie,
dare do I dare ask if Bo Derek was one of your conquests?
she's a nice lady. Stevie Nicks, Tanya Tucker. And I got to tell you, but both Stevie Nicks and like I said, I'm not a country and western fan. Not that Stevie Nicks, but Tanya Tucker. Stevie Nicks is I drank a. She was at that time she was a big drinker, so I tried to keep up with her. Couldn't do it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. I was actually surprised how tall he was. He's taller. I mean, I'm 6'1". He's must be 6'2" and a half.
Wow. Yeah, because everyone says he's not as tall as he's made out to be in the movies.
Nah, he's tall. It's funny because there's people that say like Sylvester Stallone's not it's taller than he is, and he's not tall, and Arnold actually really is tall. I think he's probably taller. Kerry was a couple of inches taller than me. Well, at least an inch and a half, and Schwarzenegger was taller than him.
I've also heard you say you had a tryout for the Ivan Drago role in Rocky 4. Nikita Koloff claims he also had a tryout for that, and he said Kerry also had a tryout. Do you know anything about them getting tryouts either? And can you
It,
share your experience?
no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was. I mean, I don't know about Nikita. When we were in Israel, um, uh, Stallone was making the Rambo. I think it was Rambo 2, whatever it was. And it wasn't we had a tryout. He just actually had met us, and so there was a possibility of getting picked for that for that role. But I don't know about Nick Koloff.
How was your experience with him? Did you think he was a cool guy, arrogant? Obviously, he was thinking of giving you a role that must have been positive overall.
Well, I actually met him a couple of times in Los Angeles, and it's funny because he would never take a picture with me. And I asked one time, in Israel, the thing is that he's very short, so he doesn't want to take pictures with people that are actually, shorter than him, taller than him.
Interesting. You should learn that wrestler's trick of standing on your tippy toes when you take a
Yeah.
picture.